All right. So, another day, another stream. Welcome back, everyone. Today is going to be day 3 of me trying to continue to work on my website. And I'm a bit late to the stream. Got held up with some stuff, and still got to go, have a deadline. So, not going to have a lot of time today to work on my website. Maybe an hour and a half at tops, maybe less. So, let's just make the most out of it. Let's just get started and we'll pick up where we left off from yesterday. Let's just refresh ourselves. Where were we yesterday? Yeah, the servers are running. Perfect. All right. Let's go back to the website. Load it. Okay. So yesterday, did we do anything to this? No, I don't think so. Yeah. So we implemented the Who Am I section. So that's pretty much complete. We were trying to implement the content channel section next, right? Based on the Figma design. And since the stream last night, or yesterday, I had an idea. Well, I was considering using ClipPad, and I still probably will end up using ClipPad. That's where we left off yesterday. We were trying to research to see if ClipPad can provide us an option to do this design or implement this design without having to use a background image, right? Using a background image would be the simplest thing in the world. And honestly, if I look at the responsive version of this design, yes, we could use a background version of the image for tablets as well, but for mobile we can just use a background color and call it a day. So we would only maybe need it for two device types, but then again, with different resolutions and all that, it can get complicated. And unless you have an absolute image for each different resolution type, I don't want to get into that mess. Instead, I still want to take a stab at using ClipPad to do this. But the thought I had was, what happens? Why don't I use ChatGTP to see if it has a better suggestion in terms of how to implement this? And by better suggestion, I'm thinking about taking a screenshot of this and ask it to code it up for me. So let's see if I can just do that. Let's say I'll copy the image and I can paste it here. Perfect. So while it's doing that, let's come up with a prompt. I'm always terrible with these sort of things, but hey, let's see what a simple prompt does. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of approach it would take. So coming up with a full page, a bunch of content. You know, it's kind of nice. It's able to translate all of the content into mostly proper markup with the text. Nice. So let's see what kind of approach is it using. We got a body, container, and relative. I don't like where this is going. Button. So one of them is being, the diagonal text is being translated. Sure, that's being transformed. But what about the channel? So we have what? Channel YouTube and channel Twitch. So what styles are being applied to them? So channel 50% width, justify, padding, position relative, YouTube. Hmm. I don't think it implements what it thinks it implements. Yeah, it didn't really implement what I was hoping for it to do. It's still considering them 50-50. Okay, it was worth a stab taking a look at it. Just double checking. Yep, and it's using, okay, that's fine. What else? Um, Not really much. It was worth taking a stab, and I guess at least this It's also positioned absolute. So that's one way to do it. But yeah, so it doesn't have a really nifty way of translating the image into any amazing bit of code. So I still think CSS Clip Pad is going to be our approach to solve this problem. So yesterday we opened up a couple of these tools to use one of them to come up with the path we're looking for. Uh, kind of like something like this, right? Close to it at least. Okay, it can snap. Perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for, aren't I? Sort of. Needs to be much wider. Any other tools that have this? Yeah, this also seems interesting. They seem to have a lot of CSS tools and then some. But yeah. Um, this is what we're looking for, simply put. Okay, so it's going to be a polygon. Perfect. Let's see what happens when we copy this and try using it. So the version of the website we have right now, okay, we're applying it to the YouTube. And just as a refresher to where we left off yesterday, we have some CSS with content channels being applied. Yep, we're going to need to modify the YouTube section here and add the clip pad we just copied. And we have some content from the home page. So let's go ahead and open up our relevant files. Let's start with whatchamacallit, home sass. And let me get rid of this clip path and add the new one. Let's try it. Okay. Oh, forgot to remove the button. Hey, it works perfectly. Awesome. This was a pretty good idea if I say so myself. Now all I have to do is just invert this. And yeah, I'm good to go. We have the clip path for, oh wait, not exactly. Yeah, now we have the clip path for the Twitch section. Okay, Twitch, my buddy. Let's get you in here as well. And I have a color here. And again, really need to pay attention to that to some extent. Yep, it's working as well. Now the only issue is the content inside of them, perhaps. You know, I wonder what would happen to the content if it goes beyond the boundary of the clip path. I want to see it in action. So open up a view page, home. Yep. Any moment now. Perfect. And what I want you to do is let's add another paragraph. And this time, yep. And a bit more, please. Okay, let's see how much does this do. So the content is literally getting clipped. Okay, I can live with that. I'm fine with that option. So it just means we have to control the content ourselves and make sure it doesn't get clipped. Okay. One thing I do want is it was able to, let me double check from my Figma design to see what kind of arrow am I using. Is it a text arrow or is it an actual symbol or design element? So I can copy the relevant item to my button. There's a button. I don't see the button. Is it in the frame? Yeah, it's an arrow. Yeah, what kind of arrow is it? It's an asset. Okay. Okay. And if I wanted it for that, yeah, so I'll just export this. Fine. Can I export this? Yeah, I can. So it's been exported as arrow right. Fine. We'll go with that. And we'll still need to change the designs of the buttons. We'll get to that in a bit. We'll get to the image as well. But what else do we need? So we need all of these three items on the same plane, on the same line, right? So, okay, I could use a flex container for this whole thing, and we can have three items, or we can have two side by side of sorts. I'm not sure that's gonna work out, but then how would content channels appear if it's one of the flex items? I could use position absolute on it and then just center it with that. What did ChatGPT use for its positioning? I think it was absolute, right? Yeah, just absolute. It's the easiest way to do it, honestly. Gets the job done. And for the others, it had a container as a flex container and the channel as a flex container as well. And what else? Overflow hidden. I don't necessarily mind the Flexbox approach. The other item I was, yeah, what other option do I have besides Flexbox? If I think about it, I could use a CSS grid, but using just display inline block isn't going to be sufficient, or even just a block itself, or inline block with 50% width is not going to be, yeah, it's not what I'm looking for. Let's try display flex. Yeah. So content channels, display, not grid, buddy. I'm gonna go with flex. Okay, and what else? The flex direction is gonna be, actually I need a row here, not a column. Yeah, so the default value is gonna be fine for that. Okay. Yeah, this is what I was afraid of using Flexbox. So let's keep working on it. Let's not give up just right away. And where is this content channel thingy? Ah, here it is. Let's just copy over some code from there. And what kind of heading did it get? Content channel. Ah, just diagonal text. That's one way to give it. So I'm fine with my title. Okay, so let's add some styles for title. Any reason to, so I have an h1 inside of it. Okay, perfect. Where is, oh, there it is. Not a tab, but just gotta scroll down. There we go. So we'll just copy this and see what happens. Gotta remove those semicolons. Okay, and let's see if it actually, I don't even see where it is anymore because I need to add a position relative on parent. Yep, here we go. Perfect. It's a tad too big for what we're looking for, but we'll fix that in a bit. Okay. I also need some spacing from it and its surroundings. So let's add a line. So how much space do we have? 90 pixels, and I think I'm using 100 pixels space margin on the top and the bottom of this on the page already. So it's done on this top side. Let's see how much do we need on the bottom side. About the same. Okay, that's good to know. So let's just go ahead and add that while we're at it. Okay, so we have some breathing room to work with. Yes, this is not a Latin website, Chrome. I don't need that to be translated, uh, despite the lorem ipsum there. But okay, so we're kind of done-ish. So we have this item appearing. It's not taking up the full width of the page as I wanted to. Okay, I really didn't want to do this, but let's try it. Let's just remove it from the document flow. Let's experiment. Sure, why not? And it's kind of working. Content channels. It's supposed to be a container, right? So, oh yeah, you can't have a width of 100%. And let me add a border just to see how things are working on it. Okay, so that part is fine. So where's the glitch? Ah, there's no glitch. It's working perfectly. So just need to tweak my Twitch fella here. Yep, that's all I need to do. Well, I guess I need to do a bit more. Let's try giving it a width. Okay, it's looking like the way it should. I can get rid of the border. And the content channel is, I guess, behind. No, it's not. Let's give it a color that really makes it stand out temporarily, so I can see where it is actually in relation to the content. Yeah. Okay, so now that we're heading towards here, now we need to kind of tweak the design of this bit here to make it look better. So I need some margins on the top and the bottom, and I need to figure out the width of this thing. That shouldn't be too hard, given that we're already here. So this text, what is your width? 324. I think, do you have a container for this whole thing? YouTube, yeah. Width 325 pixels. And I'm gonna assign the same one to, oops, yeah, or not. Realize my mistake. I need another container. So what do we call this? Content? How did ChatGPT structure its markup? So container, channel, YouTube, yeah, gonna need a content. It was right on that part. Okay. And 3 lines in. We need to move another line. Let's get rid of this lorem ipsum. We don't really need it anymore. Okay. What else? Let's check the website. Yeah. Need to apply this only to their content, and honestly don't really need it to be embedded anymore inside of these. We just have it outside. It seems to be the issue there, buddy. CSS issues. Did I save the page? Interesting. Hmm. Okay, I feel like maybe the container or the content is defining the width of its parent. In which case, let's try. Okay, got some hydration. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, it was just missing that bit. So yeah, the YouTube, Twitch were collapsing because we were using position absolute on them, and if they don't really, they're gonna basically collapse around their content or width of the content unless I specify custom dimensions for them. Speaking of which, if I remove this height, I feel like it's gonna collapse again, isn't it? Yep, yep. Which is not a terrible idea. You know what? I'll undo it, but I'll keep it as a comment because I want to see how wide or how tall it's going to get after I'm done with the paddings and the margins and all that sort of stuff. Okay. Now we specify the width for this thing. The text needs to be black. Oh, we got a lot of work to do in our hands, don't we? What else do we need to do? This time I'm gonna cheat a bit and use the work done with ChatGPT a bit to see if I can just leapfrog some of the stuff without having to figure it out on my own. So we have the channel, YouTube, content, max width. So H2 is what? Is that heading? And then the P and a button. Okay. So margin top and bottom, 10 pixels. We got a lot of margin here as is. I think it's more than 10 pixels. We'll need to verify that. Font size, line height, don't need to specify that. Okay, so it's not useful after all. Too bad. Okay, let's figure out the dimensions for things and styles and all that. Let me get a line in here. So we need about 60 pixels margin from the top. Yep. And a lot less from the text. So 60 and 30. Okay. Just don't specify this here. Just can do it here. Each one margin 60. And the bottom was what? 30? Yeah. Okay. When it comes down to text, need about another 30 at the bottom. Okay. Call to actions, huh? What am I calling them? Just actions, yeah. I don't really, whatever. Okay, margin top 30 pixels. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's coming along. Now we need some margin or padding. Either way, honestly, there's a better idea to do this, but yeah, let's try it. So we need about 100 pixels in, 60 pixels from the top, and maybe 100 pixels from the bottom. In that case, what if I were to add a padding 60 pixels from the top? Oh, wait, there's gonna be a difference between the Twitch and the YouTube one, isn't it? Yeah. So should we do this? Yeah, let's just do it here. So add a padding 60 pixels from the top, nothing on the right. Let's try 60 on the bottom and 100 on the left. Okay, and that also means I have to remove the margin on the H1 because we added to the body. Kind of does the job, but now we have a problem with the width. Okay. This is why you don't want to use absolute positioning, because it can be a nightmare at times. You do one thing and it just affects everything else. Yeah. So how do I work around this particular problem? I don't know. But let's try giving this guy some padding as well, and let's see what happens. So top, don't really care about it. Right, we're gonna need 100. Bottom, let's do 60, and left, let's also do anything on the left. Top, right, bottom, left. See, we didn't do anything on the right side of it. So top, right, bottom, left. Oh, let me think again. Top, right, we have 100. Bottom has a 60, and left, up, right. Yeah, we don't really need anything. Okay. Then why do we have one on the YouTube? So top, right, bottom, top and bottom. So top and okay, I got it now. Let's just do 60 and try it. Kinda is getting there. But man, how do I get rid of the yeah, this is definitely not worth it, so not even gonna bother with this approach anymore. Let's not touch the finicky containers. Let's just use their content. Okay, so if you are YouTube, you're gonna have a content container. This guy is gonna have a margin top of 60 pixels. Nothing on the right. Let's do 60 pixels on the bottom and 100 on the left. And your Twitch, we're gonna do something similar. You're gonna have 60 on the top and 100 on the right. 60 on the bottom and nothing on the left. Yep. That's getting better. Here's another idea. What if instead of using margin, I use padding inside of the content? Not that. Because I think that'll have a better result in terms of moving the content or the containers around. or not. Yep, doesn't seem to have an impact. Okay, whatever. But I'll stick with padding for now. Okay, so that's one thing. I need to get the content for Twitch on the right side. So how can we do that? Doesn't make much of a difference in that regard. Okay, let's try to use display flex. We'll use a yeah, that breaks the whole thing, so can't really do that because where am I using content for him? All right, let me check the stream status. How long I've been going? About 30 minutes. Okay, a little less than an hour. Keep going. Oh, and I gotta come back to these websites or not. This wasn't. These are all right. But yeah, I'll put them away later. Don't need this page. Don't need the masking, the dev docs. Let's go back here. Now just gotta figure out how to get. I mean, this looks perfect. I really don't want to use a fixed height because then I'll have to specify a fixed height on different screen sizes or resolutions. I'm trying to work around that little extra work by doing extra work on a whole different side. The irony. But yeah, how can I move the content of the sky over here? Let's just do some inspection to make sure my mental model is lining up with what's on the DOM screen. And we need a bit more space. Let's go full screen. Okay, let's start with content channels. Got a container, perfect. Then we have YouTube. YouTube is taking up a full width, which is good. Then we have content. This is what the content is doing because I'm using padding. So it's got some padding from the top to the left and the bottom. You have an H1, which only has a padding. Oh no, it has a margin on the bottom. You got a paragraph with a bit of margin. I may need to remove that. And an action with on margin. Okay. Now let's inspect the other elements. So Twitch is also taking up the full size as it should. The content, on the other hand, not so much. So what kind of... Let's play around with it. Display flex. Okay. And yeah. Okay. So I guess I added it to the wrong side. Yep. Added to the wrong element. In the content, you can get rid of your... really? You can't get rid of it? I'm supposed to be able to disable this, but okay. Well, we'll modify it in the code. Just move both of these up. Okay, getting much better. The heading is getting, what you call it, flipped. Pun intended. All right. So it's starting to take shape. Now we just need to figure out how to really make sure it has the right height and yeah, pretty much the height. The width is figured out. So we just need to make sure these things, it has the right height. looking at it, I think I need to specify a minimum height. What's the height of this thing? 528 pixels. Yeah, let's do a min height. It can always go larger than that if it wants to. Okay, that doesn't kick in because I need to apply it to these two guys. And now we have a whole separate set of problems. Anytime you involve, as a rule of thumb, anytime you involve position absolute in your CSS, you're just asking for trouble. Things are going to render differently than you think, or you're not even thinking how they're going to render, and then the browser does stuff, and then you have to put out the fires. But yeah. I'm going to need to specify the width and the height, well, the height on both the container of the content channels and the YouTube and Twitch containers as well, because they're also using position absolute, so they're going to collapse otherwise. Now we're getting close to what we want. Need a bit more CSS. On, where do I need more CSS? Okay, on the Twitch side. So Twitch, display, yeah, I need alignment. Not center, I need flex end. Yep, perfect. Now we're getting closer to what I need. Let me go and okay, so did a YouTube, Twitch, it's coming along. Yeah. Text alignment needs to be changed for both of these. So Twitch, 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 text align. Let's also do that. Hold up. Yeah, that's about right. The text is aligned on the right side. Okay, we'll have some apparently phantom padding or margin here we'll have to get rid of, but yeah. Okay. So it's starting to look a lot like the design in Figma. You have the layout figured out. Is it responsive? Probably, definitely not. But that's a problem for a future day. I want to finish the landing page first. So once the landing page is finished, the home page is finished in the desktop view, then we'll implement the responsive aspects for it. And once we're done with that, then we can jump into the sub pages. Okay, so because we'll have the framework defined in terms of what needs to happen with a responsive design or different screens for the homepage, and hopefully we can carry over some of those styles in the sub pages as well. So let's save us some effort. Okay, so where were we? I don't need that line anymore. Get rid of it. Okay. Now we need to deal with content channel a bit. The way I did it here in the design was have two different words because they need to have two different colors, don't they? Yeah, they need to have two different colors. Okay. We're gonna first of all modify the markup for content channels. So I guess we're gonna have two H1s. Do I even need an H1? Let's just use a span. I'm fine with a span. Content. Channels. Okay. Of course, now their style is gone because, of course, it's gone. So content, you title, right? So you're gonna position absolute, transform, top left, font size. I think I'm gonna put a pin in this, and we have to apply some styles to the span. We need, first of all, what kind of font family am I dealing with? Need to know that, right? I'm dealing with Oxygen. Okay. And for font size, what's the font size here? It's 37. Let's try double XL. Okay. I still don't see them anywhere. That's not cool. I think it collapsed because I'm using a span. So let's try using a div for each one of them. Okay, gonna have to open up the inspector. Can't seem to find where. So title. Okay. That's not really what I was expecting. But where is the text? That is the real question here. Am I gonna have to use... Nope, that doesn't seem to be making any difference whatsoever. What happened after removing an H1? It just kind of collapsed on itself. Let's hide it a bit. Okay, okay. Let's calm down. You know, there's another way of doing this, which is I can still keep using an H1. I don't want to fight this. I don't have that kind of time. I can keep using an H1. And then I can just modify the content inside of it. Get different colors. Yeah. Let's move both of these up here. Yeah, that's way too big. So let's try a single X. Let's try just large. Yeah, I think that might be close to what we're looking for. Also, let's try a Z index. Yeah. So now it's up front. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and still get the result I wanted. Actually, I may not even need to introduce markup for this. If I, well, I don't remember, but I'm hoping such a property exists. So what happens if I do, oh, I don't know. First, I think I should check the docs for the exact thing. If I can target the first word. I don't need the letter. I want the word. Hey, Chippity, why don't you tell me? How can I target uh, the first and last word in a H1 using CSS? Let's try. It's giving me the, yeah. I mean, that's what I was gonna do by myself. I was just hoping for a more clever solution, but it seems like we don't have one available. Oh well, not bad. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do what I was originally gonna do. Just add two classes here. Honestly, I don't even need, but this might be better with span because they can see in line. So what are we gonna call them? Content? No, no, can't call it content. Let's just call it first. And last. Okay, so this isn't really useful anymore. We'll just do first and then last. Okay. What do we need here? Mm. Oh, I'm looking for the color, right? So let's check Figma. So for the first, what color do we need? 1F. Do I have that color anywhere? Let's check our existing colors. 1F. Hey, I do. 24 at the end, right? Yep. So we have a gray 800. So that's a gray 800. Okay. So color. Gray 800. And that's for the first bit of the word, right? Yep. For the last of it. Nope, 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 nope. The other way around. Yeah. So what's the color for the first word? Pure white. That's going to be easy enough, right? Yeah, I've got white. Okay. Needed a bit of spacing, which I'm fine with. I'll add it to separate them apart. And I don't think the font size is appropriate. So 37. What font size do we have here? In terms of pixels, computed font size 16. Wow, it's not giving me the right property. 42. Yeah, it's way larger than it needs to be. So we don't want it to be 42. We want it to be 37. So 37.9. Do I have a font that's smaller than L? So 1.33 rem. Do I have anything smaller than 1.33 rem? Not really. Okay. I guess I could invent one. Let's call it medium. Honestly, it's a one-time font. I don't think I need to specify it because it's not going to be reusable. So let's just use whatever we have in Figma for it. 37.9. So let's just call it 38 pixels. Is it looking? No? That doesn't seem to be looking anything close. 37, bold. Is it bold? It probably is bold. Yeah, it's not kicking in. I wonder why. Oh, I know why. Because I'm applying the font size on the title, not the H1. The H1 is what's gonna... H1 is overriding the font size. So let's do this. And then we'll do this. And now the font size should kick in. Yep, it's kicking in. Okay, what's the next stage? So we need to make it... I don't think I need this. Yep. Opacity and all that shebang. How do I get this effect? So how is this effect working here? I have a stroke on the outline or on the outside. Interesting. Oh, the fill is hidden. So the content is hidden. So there's no text color. There's just a stroke around it. Okay. And the same rule applies here as well. You've got the same color, but it's hidden. There's only an outline. Interesting. Do we have an outline property in CSS for text? Sure would love to know. God bless CSS. It's got everything. Or does it? I need the outline for the text, not the container. Hmm. Would it be better to just use an image? Not sure. Let's experiment live. The stream is stable. Okay, good to know. And I got about what? About half an hour left in stream time. Gotta go do stuff after that. As I said, today's gonna be a shorter stream. I'm still hoping to make progress. And then did make progress already in about what? Less than an hour. We have the skeleton done. And it's just now about getting the content design and matching it up with the design in Figma. So we made pretty good progress so far. What was I gonna look for? Oh yeah, I was gonna try to do this live in the DOM. Okay. So let's see if I can apply a outline. Actually, I'm definitely gonna need some values. Outline solid. Let's just try this one. What the heck just happened? Let me reload. And we'll do a outline again. Outline. Red. 1 pixel. Solid. Border. 1 pixel. Solid. Green. So yeah, what's the difference between a border and an outline? They both seem to be behaving the same way. And our ChatGPT friend wasn't really able to get this result working anyways. Added a span in the diagonal text. So all we did was yada yada yada. Yeah. It wasn't able to translate it either. Let's see if it knows how to um um mm, okay, let's see if it can do this. Otherwise, we'll try some searching. Um, I love the confidence of LLMs. No matter what you ask them, they will just say, "Yeah, sure, we'll do it." Text stroke. I guess I have a name for the property, and let's just see and hope that it's available in. It's not, is it? Hmm. It's only available on WebKit browsers, not Gecko engines or others. I do want to support at least Gecko, nothing else. Okay, that's I know. Let's see what's its usage like in the market. And what's the proper property name? Here we go. So, which browsers have support for this? I'm surprised that Firefox has support for this. I was worried about it. So Chrome has had a support for it, wow, since ages. And it still hasn't been turned into a web standard. That's a shame. Edge. Okay, Safari has support for it. Firefox 48 doesn't. What's its use in the market? Practically none. Okay. One was released 2016. Yeah, okay. I'm fine with skipping it. Uh, Opera, IE. Don't really care about IE. I guess we can use this property and not worry about it. That's good to know. Okay, so let's try using it. It has both versions. Okay, let's try using it without the WebKit extension, but I'll add it just to be backwards compatible. Okay, and now let's make the text color transparent. Can I forcefully do that? Okay, that doesn't seem to be kicking in. 2 pixels red. Hmm. Let's see. It's causing the color to kick in. We'll figure it out. But yeah, got our solution, which is WebKit stroke. So yeah, GPT can be good at least for discovering stuff. And let's go ahead and apply it to H1. What I want is a single pixel color white. Wait, no, 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 not here. Not here. Need it on the first and need it on the last. And these are the colors. So I already know the colors I need here. So I need a color gray, 800. And what we need here is white, pretty much. Okay, and then over here, let's just set the color to be transparent. Oh yeah. Yep. Awesome. For a moment there, I was worried that such a style or property doesn't exist in CSS, but man, CSS is always surprises me with anytime I want to do something. I usually like to figure out if there's a way to do it with CSS first and foremost, because 9 out of 10 times, usually there is a way to do it with CSS. It may not be the prettiest way of doing it, but yeah, I like exhausting CSS before I reach for JavaScript or anything else to do anything that I'm trying to achieve with CSS, or well, in the browser. Okay, so we have that. Now we just need to figure out the margin or the padding between these two, and we're good to go. That's going to be good progress. Okay. Let's get our line, and we can draw the line in the sand. So it's about 40 pixels. Okay, we'll do that. So how do you want to go about doing it? Let's just keep it simple. Actually, speaking of that, yeah, no, let me finish this first. Span on hmm. What is the final word? Supposed to be text stroke as well, right? Yeah. Okay. And let me double check on the outline. It's 1 pixel. Yeah. On the outside. It's solid. Okay. So what we need on the first is margin right, not 10 pixels, 20 pixels. And over here, we'll need a margin left, 20 pixels. Perfect. I think. Need a bit more space than what I have, I think. Oh, and we don't need to transform the content to uppercase, please. Let's get rid of that. Okay, much better. Content channels. Any additional properties that are just getting in the way here? Yeah, I don't really need a pointer. What about no wrap? Delete that. Probably. Okay. So what's the issue here? Content channels. There's enough space. Okay, so there are some differences in the dimensions of the page, but yeah, let's compare. Content channels, content channels. Okay, we need less space on the content side and more space on the channel side. Fine, we can do that. We can make this 10, we can make this 30. Maybe that'll do the trick. Did I save it? And if I'm not correct, if I'm not wrong, mistaken, yeah. No, 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 that didn't really do anything. Actually, it did the inverse, did it? Okay, I don't think it's having any effect. Of course, it's not having any effect. I'm a dum-dum. I'm applying a margin to a inline element. Of course, it's not having the effect. What am I thinking? I need padding here. Not that that's having any effect either. Okay, let's try this. I want to see what's going on with both of them. Okay, now we can see them. Let's get rid of these paddings. Okay, cool. Let's add padding to the first one. Let's add margin and see if it actually... It won't. Hey, wait. Margin does work on the left and the right for inline elements. So it does work. I remember now. So let's try 20 pixels and see it kick in. Yeah, it's kicking in. Okay. So let's try margin left 20 pixels. Is it kicking in? Ah, it's kicking in a whole different way. It's pushing it down. Okay. I think I may know the issue there. Maybe. Hmm. Let's do this a bit. Border. We'll have a blue border here. And I'll use a green border here just to get a feel for everything. Okay, so that's where we are. Now, if I were to remove, where is this thing? Align items. Oh, not align items. I need text align. You know, that doesn't seem to help either, but okay. Let's try this. Now let me remove margin on that. Okay. If I change this from margin to padding, okay, it moves. It moves, but it also moves the other one. Okay, so I think I have a pretty decent idea. We only need to apply this on one of them, and that should probably do the job. Maybe. Again, the problem is there's too much space on that side instead of that side. Have I considered that when I add a padding on a margin, it's also expanding the width of this thing? So here's another idea. Let's just use a empty class. Don't really want to do this, but it's an experiment, so let's see what happens. What is this? I'm working on my personal website. So yeah, as a developer, I've been trying to redesign my website for ages. Haven't been able to get it done. So I've decided recently to force myself to finish it. In order to do that, have some accountability and stream it. So I'm trying to right now implement my design or design from Figma into my website. So let's see where we are right now. We've implemented some of it, some of the functionality as well, including some of the sections. Today, for the moment, I'm working on this section, the content channels section, trying to make it look close enough to at least what I had in Figma. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm using Ruby on Rails on the back end, but it's really in name only, because most of the work on this website is going to be purely HTML, CSS, and maybe some JavaScript, with very little backend requirement. Previously, I had a version of this website on Next.js, but I was getting tired of having to upgrade it or learn new technologies or new changes in it every time, because I would work on the website a day or two, and then I'll come back to it a few months later, or even more than that, and things would have changed. So recently I restarted the project with Ruby on Rails just to kind of keep the backend stable. Yep. So, yep. Thank you. And yeah, just trying to implement all the functionality here. So this is a third stream in a day. Well, 3 days in a row that I've been streaming, just to force myself to do this for a couple of hours a day. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. And on the back end, I'm using Sass for CSS. I like how it's clean, so I don't, if I can get away without using pure CSS, it's just less typing, less curly brackets. And on my HTML markup, I'm using something called Slim Language Template. I'm not at them, with them as clients. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, I think I was trying to do something here. Okay. So where was I? Oh yeah, this little fella here. Let's just see if this approach works or not. Nope, this is not gonna work. This was a disaster. Let's just get rid of this. Okay, I need a better way to find it. The problem I'm having right now is adding spacing between the content channel words, proper spacing, right? Kind of like this. So how to go about this? By the way, the stream quality is fine. Okay, good. Let's see. So yeah, the problem I'm having right now, and actually I've done that. So there is already contrast allegedly. So this is white and this is black. And I've implemented the change here as well. Let me see if I can zoom in. So you can see the text on the white side is black and the text on the black side is white. I just need to have some proper spacing between these two so they kind of look fine or right on their side. It's meant to be something just not too much attention grabbing, but more of a decorative element, right? That's the purpose of having this content channel across both of them. So that's what I'm trying to do with it. Now I just need to make sure they get proper spacing. So let's say, okay, let me try, let's try display inline block. And what I want to do is text align. Let's try left here, try right there, just to get started. And then I'll add some spacing between them. Okay, for spacing, let's try, still the same problem. Okay, fine, let's just work around the problem. Okay, let me get rid of the borders that I don't need anymore for debugging. All right, let's get rid of all these. Okay, let me just make sure the channel part is lining up. We can reduce it from 80, I think, to maybe 60. But yeah, earlier trying to figure out this split between the two containers, the YouTube and YouTube was fun. We ended up using a CSS property. I don't think a lot of people use most commonly something called CSS clip. Oh no, clip path, right? So we just drew a polygon specifying the size for both the YouTube section that should be visible and the same thing for Twitch. So that's a nice property to have in your back pocket anytime you want to do something of this sort without having to resorting to background images. But anyway, let's see. So we did 60. Hit refresh, and is it? Yeah, it's precisely what I want it to be. Now just need to move this fella a bit up and should be good to go. And do I care? Is this going to be a clean way of doing it? No, I just want to get it done. So margin right. What I'm going to do is a negative margin to pull it up. I hate this. I hate this. Regarding your question, no, I don't. I used to use Photoshop in the back of the day, but I use Figma to design stuff. So I did the design for this website. Like I did a number of iterations beforehand, just trying out different concepts, and then I picked one of the approaches I liked, and then I narrowed it down to different, what you would call it, yeah, responsive versions of the same page. So yeah, I designed it in Figma. So I have all the designs, how the menu should look like, everything in different screens. So yeah, used Figma. Now I'm trying to translate the Figma design into actual code. And, you know, if you're ever a designer or developer, that's where the disconnect lies. What you have in design versus what ends up in the browser are never exactly the same thing, which is fine. It's a healthy thing to have, right? They don't have to be the exact same thing. Well, sometimes they can't be, even if you want them to be. But yeah, I'm gonna lose my mind here. Uh, hmm. How can I push and pull one of these without pulling on the other one? That is the question here. Nope. Nothing. Nada. Silt. Okay. Gonna calm down. Just gonna calm down. And just think about what else is there to do. Ah. You know what? It's it's wider than what I have in the design. So you bring up a good point. Let me check. So in my design, I have 101, yeah, 1160 pixels. And let's check what's the dimension on this thing. Oh yeah, it's much more wider than it needs to be. Yeah, that's a good catch. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. So yeah, it's wider than it needs to be, and that's why it's looking crooked. So need to fix that right away. So it's supposed to be what, 160, 1160 on desktop view. So we'll go ahead and fix that. Where is the content? Here we go. That ought to take care of this little nagging fella. Okay, I think, yep. Now it's lining up so much better with the Figma design. Do you still think it's crooked or, yep. All right. What else? Okay, so the crooked issue is resolved, and thank you so much for that, saving me on that. And the content channel, it's one of those annoying things. I'll come back to it in a bit, or maybe in the next stream. I'll think about it. but I'm just trying to see what else can be done that's just like easy, low-hanging fruits. Because I'm not gonna be able to stream for too much longer, maybe for another 15 minutes. I'm doing a short stream today. So I want to make as much progress as possible without getting stuck on something and just constantly banging my head on it. So let's try maybe the colors and the font size for the content here. So what do we have? That's the font family. That's going to be fine. 21. Okay. Yep. So I need to change the color. I know. So I haven't done any of the formatting. I need to add a YouTube icon. I need to change the button styles. I'm using right now the default button styles I have in the website. So like these two are default buttons. Well, this is the primary button. This is the secondary button. So I ended up using the same buttons just as a placeholder until I implement them. So yep, need to do that part now. So let's start with this section here. Need to change the color. The color we have here is what? Gray 1. Okay. Let's do that. Let's check my existing colors I've defined. So gray 1. Do I have gray 1? I'm assuming this is gray 1, but what's the actual value of this little fella? Yeah, triple. Yep, that's the one. Okay, YouTube and Twitch. YouTube content. So what do we have here? Content paragraph. So that's what I need to specify. Okay, YouTube paragraph color. Instead of gray 800, let's make it gray 100. And what color do we have for our Twitch text? It's gray 4. Okay, so that'll be gray 400. So let's just copy both of these. Twitch, are you? Yeah, you right there. We'll just paste it here. Change 1 to 400. The other change we need to make is the font size. So that's going to be 34. No, 21. What do I have that's closer to 21 in terms of my font size? I'm assuming. Let's try large and see what happens. Font size large. Yep. Let's copy this over to YouTube as well. And let's check it out. Much better. Yep, much better. Okay. It's looking identical. Close enough. Maybe need to do a few more things. Let's see, line height perhaps. I mean, I can live with it. It's not a deal breaker for me. Yep. Next, let's change the buttons. For buttons, what style do I need? I need the asset, so I've already imported the asset. Well, not imported it, downloaded the right arrow icon. So I just need to change the buttons into that. Okay, let's do that. So the buttons we have right now have a class called button and primary. And I think I need, what am I using here? Secondary, perhaps? Yeah, I'm using secondary. So I think I need to use secondary here, don't I? Or a version of it. Yeah, this is a secondary button. So I don't even need to define anything. I can just go ahead and modify it to be, yeah. Let's hope this is enough. Well, kind of is for Twitch. Need to add a right arrow and need to reduce its size, change its size. And for the YouTube one, I just need to add a black background color. That should be easy enough. So YouTube paragraph, right? We'll just add a button background. Instead of color red, we'll be adding what color? Where's my black? Just black. Okay, now we need to specify their size. Let's do that as well. So for this little guy, this is going to be what? 134 pixels. And what about you? 134 pixels, both of them. So if that's the case, we can have a shared style for this. Let's do it on, heck, let's just do it up here. So any button we have, they're going to have a width of 100 and let's make it 35 pixels. And for the height, what's the height we have here? 40 pixels. Okay. Okay, let's try it in the website. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happened? What did I do wrong? Not what I was expecting. Okay, let's take it from the top. Width and height. If I just add them, yeah, I know, right? I'm just gonna, without making a change, let's inspect and see what happened. Because so this is the button, okay. And what happened? Why did you? I gave you a width, 135 pixels, right? Oh, oh, okay. I know why it happened. Because these buttons already have a padding, and I forgot to account for the padding. The padding with the width I added really just did a number on that, so that's why it really kind of went out of whack. So we need to have a height and width that accommodates the padding. And honestly, I don't need padding here, so I can just get rid of the padding because I'm already specifying a width and height, so I know what I want there, or not. So what's next? We're looking at least in terms of the same size. Okay. What's next? What's next? I can align it. I'm gonna need some padding on the top at least, so I can't really get rid of that. Okay, let's say if I get rid of padding. No, the reason for the padding is just to make sure the text is kind of centered in the text box, right? That's it. That's its entire purpose, right? So if I don't have any padding here, so the text is becoming, it's not centered anymore, right? And let's just do text align center. That's the first one. Okay, and now we just need to add a bit of padding on the top, perhaps, which we can remove from the height, and that should do the job. So padding top, let's make it 5 pixels and see if that's enough. Height is going to be 35, not 25, 35. Okay, closer. We're getting closer. Let's make it 30. And where's the... here we go. Let's make this 10. Much better. Okay. Now I just need to add a button, the right arrow icon, and we should be mostly good to go. So let me add the right arrow icon. Let me move it from my downloads. What was the name of the file? I think it was arrow. Let me download it again just to be safe. All right, export please. Arrow right. Okay. Yep, here we go. Arrow right, and I need to move it into app, assets, images, right arrow, PNG. Okay. What else? What else? By the way, are you also a web developer, or what kind of development do you do? Do you do any sort of development? Okay. Where are we? I need to add the arrow. Now the question about the arrow is, should I add it as a background image or should I actually add an image? Adding an image is going to be easier, perhaps. That's going to introduce its own problems. But yeah, let's just do it as an image. Check the stream quality. Okay. And you're student learning HTML. Well, this is gonna be good. You can see all the mistakes and maybe how to debug HTML and CSS and stuff like that here. So I hope you're enjoying the stream and seeing me suffer or just kind of go about it. All right. Oh yeah, I was thinking about the button, the arrow, right? So the thing about the arrow is I can do a background image, but the background image is not a good idea because the text could change and its position can change, and the background image trying to line them up together is not going to be a great idea. So it's better to have the right arrow as a actual element there. But there's another way of doing it. If I turn the text and add a pseudo element on top of it, can I do that? Do I want to do that? It's a button. There's no really text there, so no, let's not do that. So that means I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Something along the lines of follow. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I could. The reason for having the arrow was to kind of like, again, it's a decorative element to capture a person's attention and redirect it towards there. Otherwise, without the arrow, it could just be text, right? But with the arrow, it kind of indicates like, hey, click this way. Again, just a decorative choice to do that. But I'm going to take a stab at it. So let's take a stab at it. Image. Speaking of image, something along the lines. Let's call it right arrow. It's going to be a PNG. And don't really have a need for any class here, but we'll keep it for the moment. And let's see if that works. Nope. Oh, it didn't work because I forgot the Ruby code. And it's going to crash. Okay. We're going to need a Ruby on Rails. I need to remember the exact word. I don't think it's image tag, or no, it's not img. I think it's image, literally image tag. Yeah, font arrow, right? Yeah, you're right. Font arrow. Actually, speaking of which, we were playing with ChatGPT earlier, and it did use a font arrow. Maybe we can just go ahead and use that for the moment, if it is enough. Let's stick with that and try that. But I want to make sure I fix this problem. Yep, it was just a syntax error. So the image is there, but let's see if what happens with the font with the font arrow. I guess the job done, but not the kind of font that was. Yeah, then the question becomes, I have to include the right kind of font to be able to get the exact arrow I'm looking for. And I already have the image. Let's undo this and see what happens. Still have to adjust its heights and all that sort of stuff, but not bad. Okay, I'm gonna have to leave it here at this point, even though I hate to. I can't even commit this work. We have the content there, we have the styles there, quite a bit of styles. But yeah, I can't really commit this yet, which I hate. But yeah, I'm gonna have to end the stream here today. So thank you for joining me. I'm gonna be streaming again tomorrow around the same time, so feel free to join me again tomorrow. And yeah, thank you and have a great evening. Bye.